What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and we have got Distant Counter M Sacred Seal coming up ahead in the newer Tempest trial, and M stands for the melee weapons, or most of the melee weapons, because it is not going to be equipable by the beast units unfortunately. So you're going to be able to equip the Sacred Seal on sword, lance and axes regardless of their movement. If you're watching this video after the Tempest trial has finished, then it is going to be available in the Sacred Seal Forge after 2 months. So Distant Counter M Sacred Seal is actually going to be pretty amazing for even just SP grinding on these special training maps, because you're going to be able to retaliate back to any kind of range opponents. And this is the second 300 SP seal that we have gotten after Distant Counter Dragon Sacred Seal, so it is going to be impacting the arena scoring because of its SP cost and because of the units that can equip it. This Sacred Seal is going to be enabling you to take advantage of many other effects while getting the Distant Counter effect from the Sacred Seal. But if we're talking about the pure stats, then something like a Prime Force skill with attack speed solo Sacred Seal is going to be giving you Distant Counter and plus 15 speed. But it is going to be needing you some support and setup in order to get the Distant Counter effect out of it. And now let's go over the builds and the combos that you can do with the Sacred Seal. Of course, it is going to be physically impossible to go over every single unit, so if you feel like I've missed a unit, you can let me know in the comments. So this Sacred Seal is going to be amazing on any kind of unit with a preferred slotty skill. So Flame Tribe Lyn comes to mind because she can run Godlike Reflexes with the new buffer 4 now, and she can retaliate back to the range opponents while still retaining her slotty skill. Rearmed Ingrid is also one of those units who has a good preferred slotty skill, and she comes with Guard Bearing Force, so she has got damage reduction, and No Quarter is the new tool that she can run and pass off to other units as a rearmed unit. Even though Brave Alm is pretty old at this point with his Refine, Sense skill does pale in comparison to a lot of the modern slotty skills and also some of the older skills like Atrocity, but still, it is going to be an option if you want to stack up some true damage and retaliate back to the range opponents. Because Distant Counter Melee is a 300 SP Sacred Seal, it is going to be having impact on the arena scoring if you run all of the other 300 SP passives and run the highest scoring assist skills and specials. So for the free-to-play units, these are going to be the highest arena scoring units as of making this video. So Halloween Kellum, Vigard, Fargus and Murdoch are going to be in the top tier with the max scoring. Murdoch is a bit weird one because he already has Distant Counter in his weapon, but you'll have to run Distant Counter Sacred Seal if you want to get the max scoring. So that is arena scoring in a nutshell, and a lot of these melee units are going to be having that bump to the scoring, just like the dragon units did when they had their Distant Counter Sacred Seal. So Fargus becomes a really solid option because he has got full tempo in his weapon and he can provide amazing support. So if the enemy does not have Null Guard, then they're not triggering their special through his Fire Flood Boost 3. And he can also run Gambit for the damage reduction, and Pledge skill also has fantastic synergy with the full tempo effect in his weapon. And a lot of people have also built up Lumera, so if you're trying to run something other than a Distant Counter skill in her slotted, then it can be run with a Pledge skill so that she can retaliate back with Vital Astras and also heal up the HP and get even more true damage. Attack speed finish 4 with the Distant Counter skill is definitely something you will be seeing quite a lot in this video because it combos up really good for having extra offenses and also the self-sustain. Halloween Kellum is also an option, but running an armor unit in arena is definitely going to be painful even if you have guidance for flying units on your team. But if you really like Kellum, then this could be run. And then we also have Ninja Saizo, who could be used with Vital Astra and Time Pulse. And again, we see the combo of Finish 4 with Distant Counter for the healing. And Vital Astra can just be looped with Time Pulse 4 and make sure that it's always charged up. You can also run this on Shez, who's also a very popular merge project option. And even though he's a lot better in Summoner Duels, in Arena he could also be run even if he's not the highest scoring option. He still can provide amazing support and has got a really solid weapon. And you can also run Arcane Thrima with Distant Counter because of its full tempo effect. So just like Fargus, having the full tempo effect is really good, and especially on a fast unit like this who can take advantage of the tempo effect with Godlike Reflexes and the Pledge skill and pretty much loop it all the time. The arena scoring is going to be getting bumped not only just for the free-to-play units, but also some of the premium units, and Winter Edelgard and Ninja Zelgius along with Duo Byleth is going to be joining the ranks of Brave Female Corrin when it comes to the highest scoring arena units as of making this video. Winter Edelgard is pretty much an exception when it comes to an armor unit because she has got amazing movement with her Raging Tempest and also multiple actions. When it comes to a lot of the infantry units, you're going to be seeing finish and distant counter quite a lot because it's a really good combo and it is kind of similar to having Mystic Boost with attack speed prime skill. Obviously attack speed prime is going to be pretty hard to get. So attack speed finish could be run on Lucia, and because she's an infantry unit, it's not going to be all that hard for you to pre-charge something like Miracle, and since she's not going to be triggering her special in the combat, you can always have her special pre-charged and get the full effect out of the finish kill to get the healing, and Gambit is going to be giving you that damage reduction that doesn't depend on the speed checks, which is going to be helpful in many of the Aether Raids offense patches. Severa is also one of the new god swords that we have gotten, and she can pierce through the damage reduction even with godlike reflexes, and instead of giving up on her finish kills, she can just run the Sacred Seal now. And we also have Legend Dimitri, who did get a pretty good remix and refine, so he does have the full tempo in his weapon now and also damage reduction piercing, so he can run godlike reflexes and easily loop it with the Plet skill. Bonus Doubler 4 can be a pretty fun option with distant counter Sacred Seal. Temera already comes with it, and we have got a lot of units who have got Bonus Doubler 4 built in their weapon refine, like Brave Marth, Garrick, Astrum, and many of the other units, likely in the future as well. So it could be stacked up with Young Eliwood or Legendary Eliwood's Bonus Doubler status effect, and Brave Marth is a really unique unit who can Vantage through his weapon while still having Null Counter Disrupt, and attack speed finish is actually going to be a really good skill he can also run, but I just wanted to showcase him with Bonus Doubler 4 here. In case he faces any kind of hardy bearing opponent, he's still going to be having that damage reduction, and if you give him the support of Legend Female Alir or Legend Camilla, then he's going to be able to take out a lot of the nukes that have damage reduction. And we literally have a free-to-play sword in Farmer's Tool Plus that has got Bonus Doubler 4 built in. So this could be run on a lot of the older Gen 1 units that don't really have that kind of optimized stat spread, and they appreciate the buffs to all of their stats. Unity stacking is also something that you can do while getting the distant counter effect, and again Martha is going to be showing up, this time with his legendary version, because of having that Unity built in his refine. We also have free-to-play units like Echidna and Cynthia who also have it in their refine, so they all can be used with Legendary Male Robin and stack up the Unity skill, even though we have got a lot of ploy skills now which will disable the grand strategy effect, but still it is not going to be disabling the skills like the Unity skill or their weapon refines. So you can still stack it and have damage reduction skills like Gambit, which can be run with high cooldown specials like Aether or Miracle, so that you can get that 50% damage reduction, and especially on someone like Echidna who has got the damage reflection, it is going to be really good with her playstyle, and she also has special charges, so having a high cooldown special is not a big deal for her. And you can stack even more stats by having Panic Smoke 4 for the foe penalty doubler effect, or if you have got Rion Plumeria, then she's also going to be an option. And you can also use Attuned Peony so that you can get the dot status on these units to have another layer of damage reduction. A lot of Cavaliers unfortunately do not really have access to many good skills of the infantry and flying units, so they're not going to be able to cook that hard with this distant counter Sacred Seal, but still Eldigan and Ares are going to be standing out as a unique option because they now have No Quarter as their new toy, and they can trigger this in their Vantage range and also make use of the attack and defense debuff neutralization with a Clash skill. And Alarm Attack Defense is going to be giving them the extra offenses and also the Canto 1 status. Bracing Stance is still one of the options that you can run on a bulky Cavalier like Conrad, so he is pretty unique with his stat allocation and also his weapon refine, but unfortunately with this build, you're going to be missing out on the guaranteed follow-up attack in the enemy phase. But if you want to go all in defensively, then Gambit 4 is going to be the option. And Grandpa Myson is also a Cavalier who can make use of the Sacred Seal because of his mixed bulk. And even though Unity skills are a bit awkward on high mobility cavalry units, it is still going to be an option for Grandpa Myson because he can stay near his allies for his weapon to function, and he can fully buff himself up with his weapon and the alarm attack speed. When it comes to the armor units, they can just combo this up with a lot of the defensive slotty skills. So Distant Defense 4 can be run so that he can ignore any kind of visible buffs of the enemies while still getting distant counter effect. And this could be run on Vigard with Arcane Xiang because this is going to be enabling you to loop Aegis, and Hardy Fighter Aegis is going to be giving you a lot of damage reduction, and you're gonna be a pretty nice Far Savior with a build like this. If you wanna go more of the offensive route, then Weaving Fighter and Fire Flood Boost 3 are gonna be the option. So not only can give you extra HP and the attack and resistance, but also the guard effect, and Weaving Fighter is a pretty good skill on units with Brave Attack, like Summer Edelgard, so you can make use of the Armored Flow skill to get that unpierceable damage reduction, and then you have some other pierceable damage reduction with Weaving Fighter. And even though Summer Edelgard can function amazingly well in player phase, she can also do well in the role of a Far Savior. And if you end up being a green armor, then you can try and run Sylvalan Shield so that you can not have the effective damage taken from units like Legend Hinoka, Duo Chrom, and many of the other armor effective enemies. So Flame Emperor can run this and also run Hardy Fighter and Sacred Cowl because they already get the guard effect and the guaranteed follow-up attack from their weapon. Many of the flyers that have Iota Shield built in their weapon can just run Disencounter Sacred Seal without much of an opportunity cost. Of course, Har is going to be susceptible to the effective damage of the blue mages, but still he can easily run Disencounter skill with this kind of weapon refine and get the true damage out of Gambit, and he also has flat damage reduction, and that is a pretty good defensive effect for many of the flyers that want to run this skill. And you can also run this on any kind of sword flyer with Arcane Devourer, and they can just run Guard Bearing for the damage reduction and retaliate back with No Quarter. That is going to be piercing through the damage reduction and also going to be giving you extra damage against the armored foes. And then coming back to the infantry units, we have got Ross the Boss here, who didn't really get the best of the weapon refines, but still, he can try and make the most use out of it. And same goes for any kind of unit with a dual phase Brave weapon, because that could be run with Disencounter and with the Pledge skill. But because he does get the true damage out of his HP, you can try and stack that up. You can also run Arcane Devourer on many of the fast infantry units and function as a God Sword by running Godlike Reflexes for that unpierceable damage reduction with Buffer 4. And you can also stack it up with Speed Smoke. And as I mentioned before, Finish 4 is going to be the best option for many of these infantry units. Even Diamant, who doesn't really have the highest resistance, can function with this kind of skill because he does have that flat damage reduction based on his defense. So let me know in the comments who you're going to be using with the new Disencounter Melee Sacred Seal, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and a comment, helps tremendously. And if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as the Sacred Seal on Winter Byleth. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.